Hello again, everybody. This is Patrick. This is after work, and it's almost 6 o'clock at night. So as you can see, I did not quite get out on time today. Had a couple of late visits today. There's been some changes in condition, and I've got a very busy day tomorrow. After the team meeting tomorrow, I've got not one but two joint visits with two different social workers at two different patients' houses. One is for a family meeting, and then the other one is for other more complicated reasons. But yeah, I've had to kind of adjust a bunch of things on the fly, and I don't know. It was just one of those days where it just made sense to just like sit and spend time talking to a family member, just so everything will go smoother later. Just a lot of reinforcement of things and some teaching about the end of life and stuff. And there's a couple of things I have to remember to do when I get home. I have to make sure I don't forget. I have left a couple of notes to myself. I got to call the pharmacy when I get back, and I have to write myself an email to remind myself to bring a couple of some printed materials to the visits tomorrow. One of them is and these were all things that we gave out at the beginning, but over the span of a couple of months or so, things get lost, or I have that same problem. You give me something in writing and I will lose it well before a month goes by, so I definitely understand that printed materials we handed out months ago are nowhere to be found now. That's kind of to be expected, I guess. But one of them is a booklet called When Death is Near, and it explains like the signs and symptoms of death, so they're not as shocking to people. And then the other one is the Pain and Advanced Dementia scoring tool, which is a handy thing to give out so people can have some kind of objective way to rate the pain of somebody who cannot adequately describe it. But yeah, I feel like everything is getting busy now, and that's a pretty good feeling. Everything was too routine before, so I've got some busy things to do. I swung by one patient's house today just to drop off some bottles of Ensure, because they had the health supplement, the nutrition shakes, and apparently in the state they lived in before, there was some kind of assistance program where they would be able to get it at reduced rates or free or something like that. But I asked around the social work department to see if I could set up something similar, and I just got pointed towards coupons that you can get online, that anybody can get online. So I'm going to work on putting together a coupon book, and we had some donated supplements in the office, so I just kind of swung by on my way to somewhere else and dropped them off. But it's a busy day of making my rounds. I must have stopped at least, I don't know, I think like 5 or 6 different patients' houses. And I've got homework to do. Oh man. I finished the wiki assignment. I just had to do the S part of a SOAP note. And then the other 3 students will do the O, A, and P. Which, for those uninitiated with the eldritch horrors of the SOAP note, the SOAP stands for Subjective, Objective, Assessment, and Plan. It's actually something that doctors use. It doesn't really make much sense to be teaching it to nurses. But it's like some kind of format. I guess we have to show that we're doing something, so SOAP notes it is. But I still have to do, let's see, for this week, to Thursday, I've got a 300-word writing assignment on Saint Anselm for a religious studies class. Which I guess I should work on that first, if I take everything in order of when they're due, because that's due on Thursday, and then the final physical exam video is due on Sunday, but the latest volunteer that I can get is free Friday after 8 p.m. And Friday after 8 p.m. is a good time to do that, because I could, get the video done on Friday and then work on the write-up part of it on Saturday. But then I've only got, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then all of my big papers are due, so that is going to be busy. It's going to be a busy weekend. I'm going to try to get as much of it done during the week as I can, but, my last visit of the day for tomorrow is scheduled at 4:30. I'm having a joint visit with a social worker and a family meeting and all that stuff. And so I may not get out of there until 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. And I'll try to get work done, after that. But how that goes. That just leaves me Thursday and then Friday. I copied down into a notebook all of the steps. I guess one of the things I got dinged for in the last exam video was I didn't do the assessments on the right order. And my write-up wasn't of very good quality. So I copied down all the steps exactly as she wants them done into a notebook, like a field book. And then I'm going to write down my observations as I do them, which is similar to what I would do in the field. I've got my laptop. I was thinking of using my laptop, because that's what I would do in the field, but I'm going to use the notebook and then just enter my observations into the notebook, and then that'll help prompt me for what order I'm supposed to do things into. Because the instructor had left some specific instructions for at what point the patient is supposed to stand, at what point they're supposed to sit, what point are they supposed to lay down. But there's a really bizarre inconsistency in them. When I asked about it on the forums, I'm sure it's going to be taken the wrong way, like I'm being pedantic or something. But the second to last instruction is for the patient to stand up and walk, to observe the gait and the walking. And then after that, it says assist the patient to sit up. But they've just been walking, so I didn't see like a step in the middle where they're supposed to sit down or lay down, or they're supposed to lay down. If the instruction is to sit up, that assumes they were laying down before, but immediately prior to that instruction, they're walking. So, really, all of these, it's not uncommon for me in these assignments to find like grammatical errors or signs that these were left over from the previous course and they just weren't looked at very carefully. I'm getting a really bad impression of my classes so far. It really seems like either the instructors are too busy with other responsibilities to really pay attention to the online courses, maybe I think that's the most likely one. In a couple of prior classes, I kind of got the sense that the person teaching the class was like somebody delegated by the actual instructor and was not the actual instructor, And it's just all these pervasive problems, like the faculty don't seem to know how to use their computers. I'm getting my feedback really late. I'm getting feedback in week 7 on assignments I did in week 4, which is ridiculous. If my grades were a little worse than they are now, I would be complaining about it strenuously, but I'm going to take my B's. I'm going to take my B's and B pluses and run. I'm going to try not to raise too big a stink out of it. Over it, rather. I don't really care too much about the grades, as long as I pass, The classes that come after this look like they're more interesting, but if they're still run in the same manner, I can see how they would be very, very frustrating. Well, on Thursday this week, I get to take my former classmate around with me on visits. I'm really looking forward to that. I want to make sure I got some fun visits scheduled for that day. So I will have a wingwoman. I will have a wingwoman. Maybe I can coax her into doing an episode of this with me at the end of our day. That would be fun. I have to rearrange the camera so it's facing both seats. That's pretty doable. I think we can do that. But that would be fun. I could ask her about her impressions of her day and stuff, and take the long way back around. I think it'd be a good time. Oh yeah, but the other thing is that same new coworker who is a former classmate of mine is now going to be going to the same online degree program that I'm going to, and her first class is going to be the class that I'm taking right now, because she already has her bachelor's, so she's got a head start on me already. But yeah, if I'd known that it was going to be like this, I don't know if I would have accepted the acceptance letter. But I hate applying for things. I just find the task so odious. I hate filling out applications and selling myself and to recruiters and stuff, and I've always hated doing that, so I just accepted the first I only applied to one school, and I accepted when they told me I was in, so that's what I get. Let that be a lesson to you. That's it for today. I will see you next time.